everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. The topic today, a woman states that she only wants to date men who were raised in a two-parent home. Now, what I plan to do is I'm not going to offer a clip, but I will share the Breakfast Club's take on this topic. And I didn't listen to the whole thing. I got this topic from a Kevin Samuels forum on Facebook. Now, at the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, I too wanted a man, a husband who was raised by both of his parents. And I was blessed to get that. You know, my husband's parents got married, then they had their children. And that's what I wanted. Even though I did not have that same upbringing, my mother had me out of wedlock. Then she met and married my father when I was, my stepfather, when I was 1 year old. And then she left him when I was 7, but that's another topic. Even though I don't think that I'm being hypocritical, because I at least have an understanding of why some women and some men would say that they want someone from a two-parent home. I remember over 2 decades ago, this topic coming up online, and only it was men saying, I don't want a woman that was raised by a single mother. And I remember the women being triggered, but I didn't get triggered. And it's unfortunate that so many people, men and women, but I'm noticing that it's mostly women feeling a way about this woman's comment. A lot of these women, they find themselves as single mothers and they can't bring themselves to say, being married, having my children in a two-parent home would be best. Instead, they come up with all of these, well, you can have a two-parent home and he could be abusive or a narcissist, or she could be promiscuous. And, you know, if you watch the video that I leave in the description box, you could read, you know, some of the topics there, or the people's posts. And when going off on a quick tangent, when I did the video on Ebony K. Williams becoming a single mother by choice, and I said that she was selfish, tongue twister, I remember this woman coming for me, and she was like, well, it's better to have a good single parent home than a toxic married home. And this woman wasn't black, but I've seen that response from black women. It's always this misconception that if it's a two-parent home, then it's going to be toxic and a narcissist and controlling, and a single mother run home is going to be the best or whatever. And I'm so sick of that. And I have a right to be in this conversation because, as I've said in previous videos, I was raised by a single mother. So I am the product of that. So I can speak on it. So the topic at hand, I don't blame this woman for saying that, because one thing that I have found, I've had to dial back a few things about myself because I was raised in a single mother run home. When I look at relatives of mine and friends of mine, particularly ones who grew up in another culture, and I've shared this on my channel before, I used to watch how they interacted with their husband. They did not have this bravado, this boss girl, independent, can't no man tell me what to do, he ain't finna talk to me any kind of way type of just angst. And I used to watch them, honey, can you open this jar for me? It's like women who were raised with their fathers, and I realized that the topic's about men raised by their fathers and mother and father. When a woman is raised by her father, I know this is anecdotal. I'm talking about what I have seen. They tend to have a softer edge to them. Now, obviously, not all, because I've known women raised by both parents, and some of them are just as ghetto as the day is long. So yes, I realize that that exists as well. Now, for a man that was raised by both of his parents, he saw how his parents interacted with each other. He saw how they resolved issues that comes up, and how they can love each other and have disagreements and still have a united front for the children. And see, and for a lot of single mothers in particular, they think that we're picking on them, that we're dissing, and it's laughable, that we're envious or whatever. And there is a bigger picture that comes from being a single mother. It leaks over into other aspects of life. And that's one reason I feel we have a lot of angry people within our community. And I feel like for a lot of, I'm going to keep it to the men. For a lot of men, again, anecdotal, a lot of them raised by a single mother. One thing that I have seen with some of these mothers out here, they be encouraging their sons to be hound dogs and not really settling down with a wife and with a wife. A lot of these men are ultimately son husbands. But let me tell you one thing that I've noticed from all races. And as I've mentioned before, I grew up in a predominantly white community, and I've dealt with other cultures. Women of other cultures baby their sons too. I bet y'all didn't know that. They baby their sons and they put their sons on pedestals as well. But here's the thing, in a lot of cases, the father, when it's their biological father that she is married to, that helps to balance that boy out. But when you have just the mother and there's no strong male figures in his life, either he's going to have to figure out how to be a man, or the streets are going to raise him. And a lot of them are just as messed up because they too came from a single mother run home. So bottom line, I agree with this woman. Because I was raised by a single mother, I wanted a man that had both of his parents. And I think if you're going to be a man or a woman that wants that in your own spouse, you have to observe and pay attention to people who had it. Don't just think that you're going to go into a marriage with a single mother's mindset and think everything is going to be okay. You have to understand the nuances of having that mother and that father in the home. It makes a huge difference. And I'll talk to you later.